Soulslike fatigue is real, right? We've all played the same grimdark, dodge-rolling simulators for the past 10 years. But then comes the first Berserker Khazan, kicking the door down with a cel-shaded boot. It's not just another clone trying to be Elden Ring. It's a hyper-aggressive, adrenaline-fueled bloodbath from the Dungeon and Fighter universe that asks one question: are your reflexes actually as good as you think? You play as Khazan, a disgraced general who beat death just to carve a path of vengeance across a frozen, unforgiving wasteland. The loop is pure, unadulterated Souls-like masochism. You push from checkpoint to checkpoint, grinding through brutal enemies, learning attack patterns, and managing your stamina on a razor's edge. It's punishing, but the moment you get into the rhythm, it feels like an absolute dance of death. Let's talk about that gorgeous, cel-shaded art style. It looks like a high-budget anime in motion, full of thick ink lines and vibrant blood splatters. It gives Khazan a distinct visual identity that completely separates it from the usual muddy browns and grays of the genre. Every single sword swing carries a heavy, visual weight that makes the combat pop off the screen. But visuals don't mean a thing if the combat falls flat. Thankfully, the boss design here is absolutely top. These fights aren't just damage sponges. They are rhythmic, high-intensity duels that demand perfection. You aren't just dodging. You're parrying, counter-attacking, and managing a relentless flow of aggression. If you hesitate for even a second, you will get punished mercilessly. The flow of combat is where Khazan shines bright. Coming from the Dungeon and Fighter pedigree, the developers nailed that arcade fighter kinetic energy. However, the parry window is incredibly tight. Maybe even a little too tight for genre newcomers. The difficulty spikes can feel like hitting a brick wall, turning some encounters into grueling tests of sheer memorization rather than reactive skill. Looking at the global chatter on Reddit and Steam, the biggest pro is unanimously the combat feel and weapon feedback. Hardcore fans are absolutely eating up the aggressive parry system. When you perfectly deflect a massive boss combo and follow up with a devastating execution, it delivers a high that rivals It perfectly rewards players who want to stand their ground and fight aggressively. On the flip side, the biggest con tearing up the forums is the level design and enemy variety between bosses. While the major encounters are incredible, the corridors connecting them can feel pretty linear and visually repetitive. Gamers are calling out the standard mob fights as somewhat of a chore, serving as little more than speed bumps on your way to the next epic showdown. So, is the first Berserker Khazan worth the price of admission? If you're a glutton for punishment who thrives on mastering complex high-speed combat systems, then absolutely. It's a visually stunning, mechanically tight experience that breathes fresh anime-infused air into a very crowded genre. It won't hold your hand, and it will definitely break your spirit a few times. However, if you prefer exploration and deep RPG mechanics over pure mechanical mastery, you might want to wait for a sale. But for the hardcore action junkies out there, this is a blood-soaked triumph that you simply cannot miss. It's time to pick up your axes and embrace the rage. Final rating, 8.5 out of 10.